Hello, everyone. Welcome to Relate to You. We're here for another episode. I think this one is kind of like one of your favorites. Like truly, we're not being sarcastic. Like with this is my conviction.
The views don't lie.
But the views don't lie. So today is story time. Ooh. So we're going to be talking. I think we're going to be pretty all over the place.
Yeah.
I think.
There's no real here's our theme.
Yeah, no. Today is more like let's go with the vibe. Let's go with what's the thing right now. So I think for starters, because it's story time, do you have any stories about like maybe cringe moments? Maybe I know it's not an embarrassing stories, but it's just storytelling. Something that you're like, I don't know if I would do it again.
Yes, 100%.
Let's see. Let's hear it.
So years ago, in our church, there was a group of youth. They were known as the Spanish youth because there was
I remember.
and Spanish-speaking youth.
Yeah, my sisters were part of that.
And there was a guy who wanted to bring something brand new to the table.
Mm-hmm.
He wanted to make an event for the youth, and he wanted to create a talent show where he would invite other churches to participate, but mainly to have the church participate and show different forms of talent. And the concept was great. Everything was great. As a matter of fact, my sister hosted that event, and I always make fun of her because it was in a point in her life where she was more social. She was more interactive. So she's going up there and oh my gosh,
she's very different.
She's so different, and it was just fun. My brother-in-law sang in that video. Fernie sang in that video with my cousin's husband, and so they're up there and they're singing, and then some of the youth at that time made this skit where they're all mimes. So there are some pretty good
my brother-in-law probably also participated.
He did participate. Yeah. The mime was actually pretty cool because they all represented a certain struggle. So one was he was representing drugs. Another person was representing alcohol. I want to say your brother-in-law represented fitness or something, because there was a guy, because it was different things. It's the character, and each thing introduces him something. So one introduces him smoking.
Oh, I see.
And so he does it, and it's super fun, and it's just music, and then he gets sad. And then the next person introduces alcohol, so he's just he's living the life, and then he gets sad. And then the next one is fitness, it's all about me, it's all about working out. And then the last one I think is a woman. He's happy and he's in love, but even that doesn't satisfy him, right?
Oh, I see them. I get it.
So basically, the last one is a woman, or it was my cousin, but she had a Bible. Mm-hmm. So obviously it's representing that
only God
can satisfy you. It's actually really well done. They all did a great job. But despite of the fact that there was this really great talent, so I was 14. No, was I 14? Yeah, because Fernie was already there. So
let's make you
13
younger.
Or 14. Yeah, yeah. No, I actually was younger, and if I find the video, I will put a clip. But a little bit of backstory. So our previous pastor was the reason why I got involved in this whole thing. So I grew up, Pastor Galavis. Oh, okay. If you understand what I'm about to say in the next couple of minutes, we're friends. I grew up with the Morenos singing, Karina Moreno, Annette Moreno, Lilian Moreno, Lali Torres. There was just so many artists at that time that was an alternative for Christian music with mariachi. A little bit of it sounds like it's Selena, but it's not.
Oh, like Tex-Mex?
Yes, exactly. And so amongst those artists, there was one that her name was Karina Moreno, and she had released a mariachi album. And she had a song called Mariachis en el Cielo. which I knew because anytime that, my mom would clean, she would literally blast this music. So when I hear this music, even to this day, which you've even had to listen to it because I played for it for a long time, I feel like I can smell Pine Sol. Like it's there. I can smell it.
Oh,
but
we're cleaning.
yes. So on one occasion after service, I don't know whose laptop it was, but I found the song and I started playing it and I started singing along to it. And at that time, I was kind of singing in church, like more of like with the kids choir and something, but it was my dream. I'm going to sing in the praise team. I'm going to be in the choir, whatever. So pastor heard me singing the song and he knew that, it was probably about a month or two away from the talent show. Wow. He's like, you're going to sing that song at the talent show. And I was like, and I didn't feel like I could say no because obviously I was like, that's pastor. I don't want to disrespect him. He could have been joking. And now I think about that, he could have been just like, ay, no se la va a creer, you know? I just said that. Or maybe I was trying to flatter her, she can sing well. But I went home and I was like, Mom, like, pastor said I have to sing. So I have to sing, right? And he said I had to sing this song. And so I not only sang in the talent show as a contestant, but I actually sang a song that was an intro for the talent show. So the person that was like coordinating this event, he wrote a song for the talent show.
Wow, that's dedication.
And I will never forget. First of all, like, I hope if you ever see this video, I'm not trying to like bash you. But at the same time, it was so wild for me because we had never heard of someone write a song for a talent show. And this guy was like, I'm the star. He had like 3 outfit changes. What? He literally like, he changed outfits and he had like a couple performances.
Wow.
It was a whole thing. Anyways, the point is that he wrote the song.
Educated.
And I will never forget. It always goes, son mil talentos los que puedo demostrar. And then I think my solo was, ¿cómo does it go? Son mis talentos lo que quiero demostrar y dar constancia de tu libertad en mí. Son tus ojos mi escenario y el micrófono en tus manos. I think I came in late or something. I was like, y encontrar gracias, something. Testificar de tu poder y demostrarlo a través de nuestro fuego, corazón y adoración. It was like 4 of us, and none of us sang like well. Like I think Ruth. Shout out to you, Ruth. You were the only one that kept that group standing because we were not good, And I, again, that video, the whole time I'm holding my belly. So every time I sang, I had my hand to my belly the whole time. So I was just like, así, like the whole time. So we literally did that song. It had 3 estrofas, Lula. Like, it had so many verses.
Oh, my God.
And then it was like a chorus, because, like, I had a solo, and I think Ruth had a solo, and someone else had a solo, and then he had a solo. Like, it was just like, and then the bridge, we all came in. And I will put that in the video if I find it. So anyways.
Wait. I have a question. So you opened up the talent show with this very long song.
With this very long song.
And I don't want to poke fun, but now you say, okay, we weren't in sync. We weren't that
No, we
good.
weren't in sync.
However, when you were there participating as a 13-year-old or 14-year-old, did you feel like, I'm good? Or not good, but you like, wow,
yes.
that was amazing. We did
I
good.
do think at that time I thought I was good. And I don't think that I mean, I was impressionable. So at that time, like any person that would say, "No, you did good, mija," tú te lo crees, you
Right?
know?
No, because that's
So
the age.
that's the age, you know? And so, yes, I thought it was an honor that I was in this group with Ruth. I was like, oh my gosh, I'm going to sing next to her. Keep in mind, I wanted to be in praise team.
That was one person you were looking up to,
right? You know, and so in my head, it's like, I don't care what you want me to sing, what lyrics, what cringy lyrics you want me to sing. I will be there because I thought it was so cool.
Los mil talentos.
So anyways, they had different categories. So they had a category for like kind of like skits and stuff. They had a category for dance. We had rappers, dude. We had Christian rappers at this like event, like alaba a Dios, alaba a Dios, alaba a Dios. Levanta la mano, hermanos, levante. Estamos aquí. Recibe a Jesús. Salimos. Like literally, like there was literally rappers in this like show, you know. There was this girl that she sang.
No.
She was a rapper. No, she wasn't a rapper, but she danced to El sonido del silencio.
Oh yeah.
So she like danced. Very expressive song. She danced to that. And then the guy, he sang a song that wasn't Christian, but it was "You Raise Me Up So I Can Stand."
The one that coordinated the whole event?
He sang that song, and he sang a couple songs. But yeah, that was the song he sang. And no, it was like it was so many events, dude. My my tia, she participated because they had like an older group too. And she participated and she sang El Salmo 121, which if you've ever heard that song, it's a verse. It's a verse. It's a chapter in the Bible, but it's actually a very like melancholy melody because it's like El Señor, ¿cómo se dice? El Señor te guardará de todo mal. Él guardará tu alma. El Señor guardará tu salida y tu entrada desde ahora y para siempre. Amén. Now,
wow.
She sang it in Maya. Now, for those of you that have no idea what that is, my familia is from Yucatan.
Wow.
Where they speak the Mayan language. And I know very few words, you know, but she full on with her himnario sang this song in Maya. And so it was
that's a talent.
It was a talent. Not only is the song fairly melancholy, but it was very like, I don't know what she's saying, you know, because like you've never, like to me at least, like it was like, oh wow. And my mom was like, there's my tia, you know, singing in our native language. But a lot of people obviously didn't know what she was saying.
Right.
And then she sings the whole song and then she sang it again in Spanish. So it was pretty long. And anyways, so then it gets to, you know, the junior category. And so a couple of my friends sang, someone else sang from our category. Isaac, my cousin, he did the saxophone. And it's so funny because he played the saxophone, right? And I think he did it begrudgingly. I don't think that he wanted to participate. I think he was just kind of like, I'll go. Because it's so funny. He went up there. He did like one verse. And he's young, you know, he was younger than me. If I was 13 or 14, he was probably like 12, you know? So anyways, he's like doing his saxophone and then he kind of like pauses and he does this little sway and everybody's just like clapping and he's just like, and he walks away. He walked away because it was so quick. Like I don't know if we like actually heard what the song was supposed to be. I want to say it was like the Saints Go Marching In. But I think he only got to like the first verse. Anyways, I'm over here burning everybody out. So
and then we arrived to Kiss.
Then we get to mine. And I had methodically thought of what outfit to wear.
Of course.
I went to JCPenney and I got this it was actually not for kids. It was women's. It
Oh.
was a vest for women's because I was in the priest team, so I wanted to look older.
Mm-hmm.
So I had this beige kind of striped vest in a way, and I had this brown skirt with these Hawaiian white flowers,
Mm.
and actually some sandals that look very similar to this. So I've mentioned it in the podcast before, but my intro is what is hilarious because I sounded like a boy. I sounded like a nasally boy that was breathless. And so I was like, Dios los bendiga, hermanos. Estoy aquí porque quiero hacer una alabanza para Dios. Acompáñame, por favor. Okay. Like, literally, I was just like, Dios los bendiga, hermanos. Voy a cantar una canción para Dios.
De Cristo, hermanos. Mi nombre es Cristian Valenzuela y voy a cantar Mariachi en el Cielo.
So I literally, like, that was my intro. And so obviously
Wait,
people are
but
like,
because
"Woo!"
you were nervous, I'm assuming.
Yes, but I also think that I used to sound like a boy when I was a kid. Like, I had a nasally, almost like kind of ronca kind of boy voice. I don't know how else to explain it. And so the know your lane, man. So obviously this song was hard because it's a mariachi song. And to sing mariachi, you have to be able to belt out notes.
Right.
Which I couldn't at that age or now. But the hard part is that at some point in the song she goes ay ay ay, she goes really high. And so I was like, ay, ay, ay. And I'm trying to hit these notes. At one point, like, she's singing high, and I'm just like, like, internally, I was like, I wish I could hit it. And so people are, like, still cheering me on.
Right, of course,
you know,
because
they're like, she's so cute, you know. But the whole time, just, I see it with my hand. I see, you know, just kind of like here, never move, never express, never lift my hands, nothing. And then the worst part is that when you sing pista, they sometimes have breaks where you're supposed to talk.
Right, yeah.
Right? And so in the actual song, you'll have the artist that's like, alábanles, hermanos, levante las manos, or aplaudan, or something, you know?
Así. To interact pues con the audience.
Yes. And so in my case, my pista had her, like what she said in her shows, it was what she said. So the awkward part was that, like, when it was that break, I'm just standing there, not singing, and then the artist is singing, like,
No puedo,
she's
no puedo.
literally talking. I think she said something like, I think she's talking to someone because it's a live recording. So she's talking to someone. Like, I think she says something like, vámonos, Jose, something like that. She says something like that. And I'm just there swaying, waiting for my, like, turn. And so all together, it was just bad. It was so bad.
No.
And then I think what's more embarrassing, you know, it wasn't so much the aftermath or the video when you realize, oh man, I don't sing that well. It was the fact that this followed me. So then after that, I became the mariachi girl.
Yeah.
I mean, even the new pastor that came in, Pastor Gurola, was like, I know you for that. You know, they had me sing with Oscar Medina's brother. If you don't know who Oscar Medina is, it's fine. If you do, you're a real one. But he had a brother, I forget his name, but he sang mariachi. They had me do the same song. I was his opener on a Sunday for one service, and I had to sing that song all over again. Re-traumatized to this service, the talent show was at night. You don't see people's faces. They had the lights off because it was a show. But for this Sunday service, it was daylight. You could see everybody's faces. And then you had obviously El Charro, that he goes up there and he's just like, you know, Dios bendiga esta jovencita, you know, que in other words, like, she has a big career ahead of her. And in my head was like, this needs to die. This needs to die. So yes, definitely, that was a cringe couple of years.
I was just gonna tell you, I think it was cringe because it just kept following you.
It kept following me, and the video is awesome. I'm gonna really try to get it, because you guys need to react to that. Like I need
They
to feel
should.
that.
Yeah. Try to look for it. We all need to look at that video. We all need to look at that video.
No, and then if you, Lula, we would not have been friends, man. Like,
I think, if I'm not mistaken, do you happen to know the year of that talent show? Because I have a feeling that we arrived to church like a few months after that.
maybe 2010,
Oh, really?
2009.
Because we got here in the U.S. At around 2006, and we started going to
You guys
church.
were already there.
We
I
were
don't know why
already
you
there.
guys weren't there, but you guys were already there.
Maybe because I remember hearing about it.
I know because I remember Bede and Adi, and even Cele.
Yeah, yeah.
Maybe you guys were in Mexico.
Could have been, especially if it was for like a Christmas around.
It was
Christmas,
around that time.
Okay, then yeah, we probably were in Mexico, but I have or just here, but with family. But I know I remember. I have clips in my mind, in my head, of like, I know exactly what you're talking about. My brother-in-law also participated. My sisters, they weren't there, but I know they know about it too. So because I also know your your story. I also know your fame. So okay.
Your turn.
My turn. I don't think mine can top that because I don't think it followed me. But okay. Well, there's two things. I think the only thing that followed me was during my freshman year. A lot of things happened to me during my freshman year. A lot of like I would fall. I would I remember one time I felt bad for a girl and I let her borrow my sweater. She never returned it, and so the whole day I stayed without a sweater and I was freezing, and it was just funny for my cousins. That was funny. For my whole first year of my freshman year, I didn't know how to open my lock, to my locker room. So I always carried my books in my bag.
Oh my God, Lula.
Because I didn't know how to open it, and I would get frustrated, and I wouldn't do it, and so I always thought, I'm just not gonna try. I'm just gonna go to class. So so my freshman year was a brutal year for me. So what stayed with me was freshman. So my cousin started, like, whenever I would fall at home, freshman. Whenever something would happen, it's because she's freshman. And so that followed me. I kid you, I think like 5 years ago, they stopped calling me freshman.
Wow.
Yes, it followed me for a while, but I can see why. Like I mean, there were times, literally for Kelly's birthday, I threw her whole cake in the trash can. Se me cayó. No, it's not that I threw it. Se me cayó. It fell. I dropped it.
Dropped it.
I dropped it in the trash can, and so that again. So big things would still happen to me, and because she's a freshman, that's never gonna leave her. So that stayed with me for years. But one cringe similar to the talent show, I wouldn't say at that level, but similar, is my quince. So guys, I had a quinceañera. I wore this beautiful big purple, because purple is my favorite color, gown. But what I find interesting about it is we try to have a balance between Christian and what a quinceañera is supposed to be, right? So it was supposed to be a Christian quinceañera.
Well, what is a secular? What are the ingredients for a secular quinceañera?
I would say big dress, dances, surprise dances, whatever. Of the times, back then it was reggaeton. We were not gonna do reggaeton, There's a waltz. A waltz with your chambelanes is another thing of quinceañera. DJ. You have a DJ that's playing music the whole time. Same thing, music of the times.
The times.
And I would say, I think that's about it.
That's about it.
That's about
Mainly
it.
the dances.
The dances.
The music.
Obviously.
The alcohol.
So we were doing a quinceañera version, right? And it was my quince, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, was the first Christian quinceañera in the family. So now we don't know what we don't know what we're doing. We're the first ones to venture into what a Christian quinceañera could look like. And it all started because I sort of mentioned it, but I wasn't too thrilled about it. And then one of my tias in Mexico, who's loaded, she's like, "I'll pay for it. Have it. I'll pay for the dress. I'll help out with whatever needs to be done." And so my mom kind of said, "You know what? Yeah, it doesn't sound like a bad idea." My tío Valde also supported that idea. He's like, "No, we can do something really nice where we honor God for this." And, he made it sound like, oh, it's going to be super
It's gonna be
precious,
Yeah.
And it was. I love my tío Valde. It was a beautiful service, really, because
was a service.
it ended up being a service. So what happened is, the day arrives. I don't know why. This you do for, I don't know if you do it for a quinceañera or not, but my sisters wear matching dresses, like if they were my bridesmaids.
I think they do.
I think they do, right?
Yeah, I think they all wear
Anyway.
similar color.
And my cousins were my chambelanes. So the only dance we did was the intro dance, the waltz. That was the only dance we did. And I came into the song of this song comes out in Richie Valens. I don't remember that song. Have you seen that movie?
You're mine.
No. Have you seen that movie?
No, but I know the music.
It's not even his.
La Bamba? Oh,
It's not even his. It's not even
I
his.
don't know.
It comes out in the movie about him. And it's the scene where he dies. It's that song. I don't remember. Sleepwalking, I think that's what it's called.
That was your...
It was super somber, dude. It was like... and I'm doing that awkward 2-step, and then you pause 2-step, and then you pause.
What is it with that? I've seen that.
Yeah, exactly. And my cousins, they're coming in with me, but I didn't have like a main chambelán, so they're all beside, along my sides, and I'm in the middle, and so I give two steps to the right, and then they give 2 steps to the right. I give 2 steps to the left, and they así era, So finally we arrived to the center, and obviously there's quinceañera of all times. Ours, because it was very Christian, it was my chambelanes gifted me things from the Bible.
Oh,
So like with a Bible verse, and it had to do something with the Bible,
which no doubt you still have.
Yes. And so, for example, one of my cousins me dio una vela. Lámpara es a mis pies tu palabra y lumbrera a mi camino.
Okay.
And so I was like, okay, And a lot of the gifts were reminders to me that now that as I was coming into womanhood, to not forget that God should be my priority. So I had another cousin gifted me a Bible, and so instruye al niño en su camino y aun cuando fuere viejo no se apartará de él, right? Y el message with that also was que ya dejo de leer la Biblia de niños para empezar a leer la Biblia de un adulto.
Oh, okay. So far, I'm
So
not
no, yeah, like
it was any of
it was really good, really. También, no, I don't remember how it came from the Bible, pero uno de mis cousins me regaló una sombrillita, and I'm pretty sure it came with a verse or something. Another one me dio un watch, y también decía el tiempo. I think he said something about Ecclesiastes where like el tiempo es preciado, kind of like that. No me acuerdo bien. Y luego me dio una muñequita, como those that like a music box.
Oh, okay.
But it's a porcelain doll.
Yeah.
And I think that was sort of like the last gift kind of thing as a child, but it also came with a verse from the Bible. So it was truly it was very Christ-like. Oh yeah, mi tío Valde was the one that made sure all of that was taken care of. Like he was the one that thought of, okay, let's give a vela y que diga esto, let's give this, and my tío Valde and my mom were the ones that talked about all of that. So up to there, it was just awkward in the sense that we were doing something that era del mundo, but we were doing it in a Christian version. I think that's why it was awkward, because we're not del mundo. Pero yet here we are doing something del mundo, pero in a Christian way. So
giving it a twist.
Yeah, giving it a twist. So I think we managed, but obviously it was awkward for those that were Christian that had never been to a Christian quinceañera, and it was awkward for those that weren't Christian, and they were like, "What is this? You know what? Like, where is the reggaeton? You know, like where? You know, I don't know. Maybe where is the alcohol? I don't know." And so, mi tío Valde, he spoke, and you know, obviously he cried a lot of the times, and he did talk about the message of the world. The message of the world for a quinceañera is a very dark one. You know, and you're pretty much parading your child to the world, telling the world she's now a woman and she's not up for grabs. You know, and so he addressed that, and he said that, but that's not what we're doing here. What we're doing here is different. What we're doing here is we're acknowledging that this woman, this young girl, is now becoming a woman that is now capable of taking decisions in her life with Christ at the center.
Right.
With Christ as her guide. And then he again mentioned all the gifts I had just received, and he again went over it. And this is how you're going to do it.
Full on preaching.
You know, full on yeah. And so it was a very nice message. I think where I get cringe, where I start to get cringe. Okay, the intro was not good. You know, me doing the 2 steps and pause, 2 steps and pause was awkward, especially to that song. I'm gonna send it to you. Maybe you can put it in the background for a little bit. It was really like sad. I don't know why I chose that, because I chose it. I chose it. Anyway, and then where I start to get cringe is 2 things. The first one is I'm a girl and I hadn't flourished. For me, puberty hit later in my years. Heck, there are times where I'm like, I don't think it still has hit. I don't think it has hit yet.
15-year-old you really doesn't look like you.
Right? You already, I've shown you pictures. It does not look like me. Maybe I'll allow you to show one of them, but it's you see me and you're like, that was Lula? Even me, I'm like, oh my God, I've come a long way.
Yeah.
So I think I get cringe on that. I get cringe because during that day, now keep in mind I'm 15. I've always had issues with my self-esteem. You know, I've always. So that was the only day where I was like, oh my God, I feel beautiful.
Aww.
Even my quinceañera curls are cute.
the chorritos, right?
Yes. And actually there's a picture where all you can see is my hair.
I don't know why that was in at that time. And then it had all kinds of hairspray.
Yes, and they moved on their own.
Yes, just bouncing.
Yes. Anyway, and so, but then we had a photo session. Now, keep in mind, guys, up to till this day, I still wonder if the photographer was an actual photographer. Like
it was legit.
If it was legit, he was supposed to record the whole event, and what we received back was just a compilation of pictures. So he never recorded anything. But I don't think we paid him a lot either. So I'm like, okay, fine, I get it. So all the poses in the pictures, dude, are the same, and all of them are like this. With me, one hand on your side, on my side like this, and the other one like this, and looking very regal in the picture. But also because he kept telling me, remember, you're no longer a little girl, and I'm like,
what does that even mean?
Yeah, I'm like,
what does that mean in pose?
Yes, like I don't know. You're making me pose. Like I don't, you know. Because I remember when we got there, I was like this, you know, very like innocent, you know, very like okay, you know. And he's like, no, put your hand over here, sort of like you're a model. And I'm like, okay. I'm like, okay, is this modelly enough? And he's like, yeah, you know, and he kept saying this thing of like, you're no longer a little girl, remember? I'm like, okay, fine, whatever. And then it gets to the pictures with my chambelanes in the same pose, you know. They would grab me. It's the hand, right?
It's the hand.
They would grab me from my waist, and I would have my hand on their hand like this, and it was just, you're like super awkward. And I'm like, and I don't know if I don't think obviously this guy knew that they were all my cousins. So at some point he would make jokes of like, no, pero really hug her, you know, like. And my cousins were like, no, dude, like I don't think you understand what you're saying.
She's my cousin.
Yeah, you know, and some of them had never had that much like skin interaction with
Right.
with
With your
girls
cousins.
or with me even. I mean, up to that day, we treated each other like we were all boys. Really, like we would hit each other. I mean, my cousins would fart in front of us, and we could care less. We all treated each other like boys. So that day, even for them, was like, wow, you are a girl. Like you're dressed like,
Interesting.
yeah, you're dressed like a girl. And so it was awkward for them too. It was awkward for them because it was like, oh, what, we don't know what to do. Yeah, how do we address you?
How do
now?
we deal with
Yeah, and so the poses were awkward. And then, however, I think another thing that was kind of cringe, but at the same time sweet, was that that was the day that Ruben and Bere decided to get engaged.
Nice. Yeah.
And so he asked her to marry her there and in front of everyone. And we're like, yeah, whatever. And so I think it was cringe because I believe
You're 15. Wow.
yeah. I think it was cringe because I believe I sort of ushered that moment to happen. And I don't even know if I did a right thing. I think it's like, les tenemos una sorpresa. It's like, what? And they ended up taking a couple pictures actually, after they announced that they were getting engaged. Or rather, after he proposed and she said yes. I think he gave her a watch. I'm not sure. And old school. And so that was sweet. And
There wasn't something else that was cringy in your attire.
in my attire,
Yeah.
there are two things that were cringy. One, okay, the dress is beautiful. I still have
yeah.
it. I still have it.
Of course you do.
Of course I do. I'm looking to put it on once I turn 30, maybe. I don't know. So because we were Christian and we couldn't find dresses that were cheap enough to cover the whole thing, the lady ended up saying, "Oh, I can make you a little kind of like not
Una capita.
una capita, yeah, un vest." I'm like, okay, yeah. But she said this a week before. Because we kept going on about like, should I wear something under? It's gonna look awkward. Should I just go, because it was
Sweetheart neckline.
sweetheart neckline, and so nothing on top. And I was like, should I just go with nothing on top, and should we do lace? And so we kept going back and forth. And I think one of those, my last time to go get fitted, she heard us talking about like, what am I gonna do to cover it? And was like, oh, I can do a torerito. That's what we call it,
Okay.
un torerito. But and so she's like, okay, yeah. And we're like, okay, yeah, we trust you, porque she was the one that created that dress. So
creative.
yeah. The day arrives, my dress arrives with the torerito. And the torerito, and okay, keep in mind, guys, how do I say this? I was chubby back then. I wasn't, but I was chubby. So I don't know why the lady thought that something this big would fit. So it did, but the whole time I looked like this.
Oh.
The whole time I look like I'm awkward.
I need to look at the photo because I really don't remember this.
And you can tell it's small because right here it goes like this, like I'm eating it on my armpit, like my armpit's eating it, and I just look like I'm bulking. I look like I'm ready to hit someone, and so that was one, and then she tried to sort of do the same design on it that the dress had, and it was just not. It just didn't look that way. I mean,
ruffles?
No ruffles, no, because the dress. But,
well, it had like the layers.
Yeah, but I think it had like what are they called? No me acuerdo cómo se llaman.
Pleats?
No. Like here on the ends of the sleeves.
Uh-huh. Rhinestones.
It had like no rhinestone, pero pues sí, rhinestones. And that didn't look good. I feel like had she done it simple without nothing, I think maybe it could have done better. But anyway, and so that was one. But I was like, okay, ante todo, modestia, la modestia. The second thing that was a bit cringe. Again, guys, remember, we're trying to mesh. We're trying to have a balance between the world and the Christian world. It's not working out, right? So, ante todo, tenía que darle honra y gloria a Dios. So, traía mi velo. Now, I could have gone for a whole purple velo. But I was like, no, let's do something demure. Let's do something, discreet. So it was black with purple around it.
Which no doubt you still have.
I had it until like 4 years ago. I've lost it.
Oh, you lost.
I lost it. I didn't throw it away.
didn't get rid
Nothing.
of it.
No, I didn't get rid of it. I lost it. I'm pretty sure I lost it. However, maybe if I were to really clean my room, maybe I'll find it. But anyway, and so I was showing Kez pictures of it, and she's like, I love the velo.
To me, like, it's honestly, I think your quinceañera was really nice. I mean, obviously, to hear all the thought that was put into
Right.
the gifts that you received, and the fact that yes, like, I get it that it's like, okay, it's cringy to take something that was meant to be a certain way to Christian, but I still think that, like, for their efforts, I think they succeeded. I think they succeeded in making it like, we're trying to make this about bringing glory to God, and at the same time reminding you, you're a child of God, It reminds me of, like, those YouTube channels of, like, where there are those people that they use secular music melody, but they'll write Christian lyrics.
Yeah.
It's
I'm
like,
fan of quite some.
it's like that, It's like, hey,
If it goes,
if it goes, it goes, Honestly, to me, it's like, it's not even the poses. It's not even the, like, nothing. And honestly, I don't feel like she looks like herself. It's the velo for me. It's the velo because it looks very high up.
Because I had a hairdo. I had a whole thing going on here, and I had a coronita.
That's what I'm saying. It looks like it's like this.
And so, but anyway, guys, that I think it's cringe when I look at it and when I think about, like, all the things I could have done better.
Right.
But once I start thinking about, like, no, but the actual message of the whole thing was nice.
Yeah.
And in my family, any situation to make a party of and get together and throw cake at each other is a good opportunity. We all take it.
Exclusive Garcia fact.
Yes.
They throw cake at each other at parties.
Yes, and that's a must. That's a must. Because guess what we did for my quinceañera? We plastered the whole thing in cake.
Crazy.
We plastered the whole
Wait,
thing
so
in cake.
then is your dress damaged?
I have a feeling that I changed.
Oh, okay.
I have a feeling that I changed because I knew what was coming.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
Because it's such a tradition. It wasn't like you were blindsided.
No.
Ah, okay.
However, I wouldn't be surprised if it started when I was still wearing my dress, and I was just like, okay, I saw the signs and booked it, changed, and then came back and went in for it. I'm not sure because my I don't remember washing my dress after.
You gotta check that dress.
I gotta check that. Anyway, guys, so that was for the cringe.
That was the
moments.
cringe era. I have a question because I feel like you had this very, very prevalent in your young age and
Right.
growing up. Did you ever go through a fangirl phase? Was there ever a time that young Lula, and technically not even young Lula, because we could all still be fangirls to this day, right?
True.
Were you ever obsessed with an artist, a celebrity, a musician, and it took over you a certain way?
Yes. I'm not proud to say it, but it happened. And the only reason why I feel comfortable sharing it is because a lot of people saw me through the face. And so,
Evidence is out there.
yeah, there's plenty of evidence out there. When I was around 17, 18, yeah, around that, it was bad. It was bad. Like, my wall was plastered with people. My mom obviously didn't like it. My mom had that idea of, like, estos son ídolos. Estos son ídolos. Les están rindiendo culto. Y yo, no, Mom. But yes. But no.
Beautiful.
And it wasn't just okay, so I liked K-pop. I liked Korean dramas, Korean music. So and the thing with me, it wasn't just Korean singers. Like, it was also Korean actors. It was also
Oh,
Korean comedians.
K-dramas.
Yeah, it was also Korean comedians. And then when I got into K-indie, when I got into like underground Korean music, I was like, oh, K-pop is not for me anymore because
That's too mainstream.
that's too mainstream. I'm now into underground K-pop. Oh no, underground hip hop, Korean hip hop and whatever. So it was bad. So my wall went through a couple of phases of like first K-pop idols, which that's what they call it, or K-pop singers, and then K-pop actors, and then underground K-pop or K hip hop artist, and then out of nowhere it came back to Korean actors, and so I still have a lot of posters. I probably should reconsider getting rid
Getting rid
of
of
some. I got rid of a lot. There were groups that I liked, but they flopped within the 3 year mark, and so I was like, okay, they were not good. Bye, Um, and then there were other groups that hit the 7 year mark, and I was like, I cannot get rid of them even if they disbanded. Like they were it for me,
meant something.
Yeah, they meant something. I had groups that my Karina and I went to see them, and that's how we bonded. So they meant something to both of us.
That was a phase that I had heard of you. Because even though we weren't friends yet, and we weren't going to be friends for a long time, I do remember hearing Gary being like, no, Lula's the only one that like kind of like gets me with this.
Yeah.
And I'd always be like, what the heck is this? What's K-pop? Like underground stuff.
Oh my God, no. We actually, with Karina, we went through so many cringe moments when we were fangirls of these people. The first concert we went to, we tried to dress up, didn't work out. And then the second concert we went to,
You almost died.
we almost died. We got very like close to them seats, where we could almost touch them. And here's the thing. Here's why it's cringe. I'm recording and I'm singing to the top of my lungs lyrics that I don't know, words that I don't know because I don't know Korean. And then I used to have him, now I don't have him. And then I swing my phone to record Karina, and Karina's like this. She's having a like an existential crisis, almost like I cannot believe I'm here. And then the guy that she really liked was coming our way, and I'm telling Karina, he's coming, and I'm trying to push her to get closer, and she's like, no. I'm like, no, Karina, go. And she's like, no puedo. She started having a breathing attack, and I'm like, oh my god, what's going on? And then the guy that I really liked was coming. I'm like, oh my god, you can hear in the video like I'm just like dying.
The squeal.
The squealing, and it's so annoying. But for me, it was funny that Karina was like, no, I can't. And then she started hyperventilating. I'm like, oh my god, are you okay? She's like, I'm like, oh my god,
I
Kari.
remember this.
Like, wait, hold on. No, he's leaving. I'm like, please. I'm like, oh my gosh. And then the third concert we went to, it was an underground concert. And that one, she lost it. That one, she's like, we're singing to the top of our lungs. And I might have some videos, I don't remember. And again, I have a feeling that I also swing at her and complete opposite. Oh my god, you're so handsome. Oh my god, I cannot believe you're here. I was like, okay. And this is just one guy.
Wow.
And we paid for the VIP.
This is where she gave him a gift?
Yes.
Okay, I remember that.
And this is where we took a picture with him. And because that was included in the VIP ticket. And that one was fun. We made a lot of friends during that time. And, I feel like I liked that era because it made me learn Korean.
Mm-hmm.
It made me learn another culture. Because I think with any language, in order for you to truly understand that, you need to learn the culture at some point.
Right.
And so it made me really like understand the culture. It made me understand why the customs, why they do certain things the way that they do. And so I think it was an era of me learning a lot of things, and it was a constant thing of like And I think that it does something nice, because once you start understanding someone else's culture, you also start understanding yours a little bit better.
Right.
And so for some reason, when I was very into K-pop, I was also very into like, oh, but Mexico, and I was very.
It makes you proud.
Yeah, I was very proud of being Mexican at that time. So it was a very interesting.
It wasn't like you wanted to be Korean.
No. Although I did want a Korean husband, but I didn't want to be Korean. I just really liked the culture and everything. And by liking them and really studying it, it made me proud of my own culture. It made me proud of being Mexican. It made me want to learn more about it. It made me, sharpen up my Spanish and everything. Right. So I think it was an era of a lot of learning and new firsts for me. And I really enjoyed it. Yeah, we had our cringe moments, during those concerts, but that's
kind of cool. You went to a concert too.
Yeah, and I think okay, I don't know how the scene is right now, but I do think back then it was innocent. It was very innocent. It was the first concert we ever went to. It was their first time coming to LA, coming to the US.
Oh, okay.
And so even for that, it was very innocent. Even that, it was very innocent.
In other words, it was also not very popular,
right?
That it is now,
right? And so I think because it wasn't popular, we managed to go in there with other people that also were very innocent in that aspect too. So. I don't know. I think it was fun. I think I think what was cringe about it is that I wanted a Korean husband, and because I wanted a Korean husband, I would do strange things in the hopes that I would land a Korean husband.
Isn't it that what have I sent you that you can do?
Cute. I'm not gonna do that.
No, I know you're not gonna do it, but there's this thing where Koreans will do certain faces and like expressions that make them look cute, and it's like, like it's very like I see it, I'm like, dude, I know you went through that phase.
I did actually, and a lot of the things I do when I post for pictures are things I just kept with me.
I know. I'm like
this one?
Like, isn't there like a thing? It's like the closer the peace sign is to your face, the like more of like Korean love that you have.
I don't know about that, but I do know that I had a lot of, because I liked doing that. I liked doing a lot of the cute stuff.
The winks
and the peace signs, and not just that, but even talking and putting my hands here and doing things like that. I liked doing it because I knew how much it annoyed the people around me. So
wait, what?
Yeah. So my family just thought I was weird. Kelly hated every minute of it.
Oh.
Even my Korean friends were like, that's cringe.
Oh, wow.
So I think I got it was fun for me because it was a way to make them feel uncomfortable doing something I quite enjoyed.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
And it just stayed with me.
That I have more respect for you then. Because it wasn't like you were delusional, like, I am cute.
Oh, no.
It was more of like, I know that I'm going to do this and it's going to make you feel uncomfortable.
I mean, I'm telling you, my family hated it. However, I think what they hated about it is that I was really into it. I was like, even my voice changed. Exactly. It was just like, oh, why? No. And with my Korean friends, it was that thing of like, you're not really Korean. But I don't know how to tell you that.
It's just
it's just not you. They weren't also telling me like, oh, you're cultural appropriating. No, it wasn't. It was never about that. It was always, they knew I was doing it to mess them up. They knew I was I was just trying to be annoying, because my voice would go high pitched, like bad, and so they're like, oh gosh, no.
I mean, if I've seen actual Koreans do this, And that is cringe for me sometimes. I can only imagine how you would. Today, I do think you would make me cringe.
No,
Because
yeah,
I'd be
no.
like, whoa, this is a whole new
No.
side of you.
So that's why I stopped. That's why I stopped. But yes, certain aspects of it stayed with me, and I feel like I still have them.
Yeah, it's a part of you.
It's a part of me, and I feel like I still have them. Not because I want to be annoying now. It's just hard.
You were
to get
so
rid of it.
into this culture, it kind of fused with your personality.
Right. Yeah. And some of them I do think they help me with my face. They help me.
What does that even mean?
I don't think I'm very photogenic.
Ah.
So doing certain poses, doing certain things to cover my face.
Oh, okay. It helped you pose.
It helped me pose, yes, because I don't think I'm like, if I'm just, how there's people that they're just sitting there and you're like, you take a picture, you're like, why? Like, you look good.
Yes.
You look perfect. In fact, they probably even look better in pictures than they do in person sometimes. That's not a case for me. I'm not saying I look better in person than in pictures, but I'm just not photogenic. You take a picture when I'm just not doing nothing, and it's just not good.
It's not good.
It's not good. I don't have on my right angle or my left angle. I just don't have that, And so it's like, I'd rather do this, I'd rather do this. I'd rather do this. So yeah, and not just that, but also like I learned how to cut fruit. I learned how to peel fruit because I thought that's gonna land me a guy. A Korean guy.
Okay.
So I know how to peel an apple without breaking the skin.
Because that's something that's common over there?
At that time, I thought so. Now I don't think it is. When I was 17, I thought that
was gonna be it.
Yeah, that was gonna be.
I get you though. I get you as far as like trying to, or not just trying to, but appreciating a culture because you're so immersed by it.
Right.
For me, it was the Indian culture, Hindi culture, because I became obsessed with Bollywood.
Right.
And so even though I've never learned the language as far as you have, like I know you can actually say certain things, like I know certain words and I know certain songs and stuff, but I can understand how like you pick up on like, like for example, for Indians, they shake their head from side to side and that's how they say yes. And little things like that, I was like, oh, like that, like what is that they, when they say like, oh, okay, and they just go like that. I always thought that was really cool. Or the way that they danced, or the way that they communicated, or just little things like that. I think that there was a part of me that really liked the traditional sense of like the honor behind how a woman would be with, the man, and the man would be with the woman, and just
They're
like
very traditional.
they were very traditional. I think in Korean culture that exists as well. But I don't know. I liked their culture. Their like, what's the word for very lively in a sense. Like whenever they dance, whenever they move,
Alegres.
whenever they se miran como una cultura bien alegre. And then to this day, like there's movies that I've seen that I'm like, oh my God, I want to try that. I want to see what that tastes like. And I still have yet to try everything. But I get as far as like being so like engulfed in a culture and things about their culture. Like when I started watching Bollywood movies, I became so fascinated by Indian weddings. And the henna and all the meanings of, like it's interesting. They do the henna and they will hide the groom's name in the henna. So they will paint all of their hands and their palms, and sometimes they go all the way up here, and whoever's doing the henna will hide the groom's name, and then it's like a game how long it takes the groom to find their name. And so some do even just different things. They do other designs. Some even put names of like the bridesmaids and stuff. So like little things like that, or how Indian wedding is like a week and they have different rituals. And just a lot of things that I liked about how they
and everything
did
has a
things.
meaning, right?
Everything has a meaning. And so I think that's something that I enjoyed. But as far as like fangirling, I don't think I ever got to that point because my mom never let me go to any concert or anything like that. But I do think that if I ever did, I'd probably be Gutty of like the hyperventilating. I had 2 eras, and it was Justin Bieber and it was One Direction. Very standard, very basic. When One Direction came out, I actually saw them in X Factor. They actually started
When they really started.
when they really started in X Factor. So I saw all their video diaries, and I think that's a way that you're like a fan when you know and you've spent hours watching videos of clips of different interviews of different like just the kind of like the boot camps that they have where they go places and they're all together in a house or they're all together doing something. And that was something that I experienced in so much length. Like I watched videos, and to me it's like, okay, you're a fan if you started from the very beginning, like when they started. You're a fan when you know all their names. And you're a fan when oh no, you're like so and so like this, or Liam is that, or Niall is that, or like Zayn is like this, and like you have
pretty much
certain
know
things.
them.
And then I think what was like the part that to me is cringe is like I would go back and rewatch the video diaries over and over again. Like there were so many. And then honestly, like this is when they were growing up. Like this is when they were early in their career. Like now,
Teenagers.
One Direction, the members as who they are now, they're adults, they're very different. But at that time, it's like they're doing very like cringy stuff themselves. Right. And you're like, oh my God, like this happened. And then I don't know if I'm really like selling myself out here, but there was this weird obsession as far as like, not that you want the band members to get together, but at the same time, there was this weird like, oh my God, Harry and Louis have such a the bromance. They have such a bromance. They have such a like bond together, and like Zayn is jealous, and so like
I went
it was
through that,
so weird to like
get you.
have that like. I don't know.
And you almost think they're not gonna date anyone because they're pretty much just like they can't.
They can't
date anyone.
And so,
and if they do, they need to date me.
Right. And so I definitely like, I would see them, open up fan mail. I would see them, react to different things, just like I felt like I knew them. Mm-hmm. I felt like I knew what they liked, what they thought. And it was just like, yes, I get you. And it was just interesting to see them from the very beginning when they started on X Factor, and then when they went public, once they went popular and they came up with the famous song, That's What Makes You Beautiful. I remember that I had followed them up to this point. Right, I was a freshman, and when they came out live and that song was like super popular, everybody was like, people who weren't into One Direction were like, all of a sudden, that song is like a ripoff from Grease. Because the beginning intro of that song sounds like dun 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 dun.
Right, yeah.
That is true. And if you play their song, it's very similar. It's not the same chord progression, but it's very similar. And so I remember that when people would say certain things, I would get mad. I would get mad, like, oh, like you don't know them, like you don't know them, like I know them, And then there came the shame, so there's fans that are like, I am bold and open with what I like. And then there are fans of like, okay, I'm not going to say anything about who I really like. So that happened to me with One Direction, and it happened to me with Justin Bieber. So with Justin Bieber was early on. That was middle school. So by the time I was in high school, Justin Bieber was cool. Right. But like for One Direction, when I was in high school.
Also, One Direction happened before Justin Bieber.
No, after.
After?
Yeah, it was after. And yeah, because Justin Bieber was like, I think he was 15 when Baby came out.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
he was young. He was 12.
Maybe younger. Wow. Yeah, he was probably, see, I guess I'm not a true fan. I don't know that fact. But anyways, with One Direction, I remember my best friend in high school was like, she was very anti-mainstream. She was very anti, like, everybody likes this. And, you know, it doesn't even, what's the song? It doesn't even make sense. It doesn't even have meaning.
Oye,
They're
was
over
she a
here,
lula?
like, they were over here saying, you know, that's what makes you beautiful. Like, and like, what are they trying to say? Like, oh, you know, you don't know what makes you beautiful. But then at the same time, like, I know that you're beautiful, so that makes you beautiful. So anyways, I would just be like,
Oh my gosh,
yeah,
she really read
so
into that.
lame. Like, I don't know. Like, I don't know why people like them. While, like, at home, I'm like
You're like,
watching
"Ah,
videos of like, oh, they're doing
I
this.
know them better than
I know
anyone
them
else.
better than anyone. So I can honestly say that me loving One Direction was very like lonely. I didn't have anybody to share that love with. And same thing with Justin Bieber. Like, it was in middle school when, you know, Baby came out, and if you remember, Baby was one of the like most hated songs.
I know,
Because
and it also
people,
probably was one of the most popular
it was
songs.
also one of the most popular
That's
songs
interesting.
because people just thought it was so annoying, and they were just like, why is this even popular? Who is this kid? And I'm over here like, oh my god, it's Justin Bieber. And then when he wrote a song, oh my god, I think it's called Pray. It's called What Pray or One Pray, something like that. I was like, oh my god. And then and then and then he like he came out in this he didn't come out in the movie, but he wrote a song called Never Say Never. And in that song he sings with Will Smith's son.
Right, for
'Cause
Karate Kid.
Karate Kid.
Or sorry,
And
whatever.
so
Yeah, yeah.
they're like David and Goliath, and they say that line, and I'm like, oh, David and Goliath. You know, he knows Jesus. And then there was obviously this part of me that was like, early on, like, there is footage of him singing, you know, certain Christian songs. He had mentioned he had grown up Christian. And so it was like, okay, you know, like, there's hope for him. Yeah, you know. I didn't watch a lot of videos of Justin Bieber because I liked his early stuff. And then once he got mainstream, I kind of didn't become popular.
Right.
I didn't follow with his his fan base, not because I didn't like him, but because I don't know what I was doing in that time that I never got into the whole like Justin Bieber's dating Selena Gomez and they're an item, and then he went from very popular to being a bad boy. That whole time, I just wasn't there. I was not there. Maybe I was all about One Direction.
Or Jesus.
You know, or something that mattered. I didn't become a fan about Justin Bieber again until he got married to his wife,
So
Hailey.
he's now white. Oh.
So I know his full album Changes. And like after that, it was like I got back into the fan base again.
Oh, but that's recent.
This is recent.
Yeah.
This is probably like about 2-3 years ago. And then Joel's a big fan of Justin Bieber too.
Oh, wow.
So that kind of helped that it was like, oh, you like this song too? Oh, do you remember this song? Okay, you get me. But even then, I don't think that I was as much of a fangirl as I was with BTS.
Oh.
Because with BTS, with Korean fans or members, I feel like there's just so much content you can binge.
Oh my God, yes.
More so than like Western artists. Like, they have their boot camps and they have their reaction videos and they have these skits and then they have their performances and performances from different angles and then you have their practices.
And then they have shows.
And then they have shows and then they have random videos where they're eating. Like, there was just so much.
Oh my God,
content.
I cannot tell you how many times I went to bed at like 3 a.m.
Yeah.
Or there were times where I didn't even go to bed. I would see the sun down and the sun up.
And you know
That's
what's crazy is
insane.
that, like, I had heard about, you know, K-pop, obviously, from you guys, mainly from Karina, but it wasn't something that I was like, oh, I'm never going to get into that, you know? And then BTS came out of nowhere. I don't even know how. Actually, I do know how. I watched this show called YouTubers React.
Oh, okay.
And the show was where they got a bunch of YouTubers together and they would show them different videos that were popular. And the song, they were showing them what K-pop, so it's called YouTubers React to K-pop. Because again, it wasn't mainstream at that time. So they were being exposed to something that was super popular in other places. So anyways, they get different videos of different K-pop, you know,
Artists?
videos. I think EXO was one of the videos
Oh,
that they
used to be a fan of that.
they reacted to, and I remember that they were reacting to there's a scene where he like does this thing and he does his cheek like
Kai.
click in a sense.
What do I know?
And anyways, so the next video is K-pop, and they're doing the
Is it Danger?
no, they're doing the song where they're all dressed up in different like not costumes, but it's a police officer and a doctor, and
I think it is Danger.
J-Hope is a race car driver.
Right, yeah. It's their most synchronized dance till today, I think.
It's gonna bother me. Anyways, I just know certain moves, but I can't. And then Suga is just like energy. Yeah. And so like, anyways, so I saw that video, and I was like, I need to know who Jungkook is. Who is this? Because like and then it was so funny because he has like purple hair in that video, kind of, and it looks like he has lipstick. But for some reason, I was like, I'm attracted to him. Like, I'm attracted to this artist, you know? And then when I saw Jimin in that one, I was like, oh my God, he's so handsome.
Yeah.
So
Who's this beautiful creature?
And so I went down the rabbit hole, you know? And so I saw their first, you know, videos, which were very like hip hop based.
Which, by the way, those are my favorite.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so that's when I started following them. Like from that point on, I was like exposed to them. So then I wanted to know their names. Dude, I did quizzes of YouTube. Like, you know, it's like, okay, who's talking right now? And it would have like, you know, either Jimin or Suga or something, someone talking. And then I'd be like, that's Yoongi. That's Yoongi. He's talking, you know? And then it was like, do you know their like nicknames? And then do you know their like artist names?
Yeah.
Like,
how much do you know BTS?
how much do you know BTS, you know? And so there was just so much content. And then obviously you have your, you know, who's your bias, you know, who's your favorite one. I've always been a lover of Suga. And so I would watch endless videos
which at the beginning I get, because I think Suga was funnier at the beginning. But later I feel like he became very like, I don't want to do it.
You know what it was? I think I liked that he seemed intimidating, or he seemed like a bad boy, but he was so cute at the same time, and he was so short and he was so tiny, and they would always make fun of his little
finger,
you know. And so like just little things like that. And then I think after that it was, you know, V. V is just beautiful. V is just beautiful. So never had posters, never went to a concert. But I was just that like person at 3 a.m. going through videos and on my own. And again, I wish I would have had someone to share that with. I think towards the end, we kind of had some like, oh, you know, they just
I remember when I don't know how it came about, but we both, I think you started listening to something. And I was like, whoa, I know that song. And then that's when I told you, you know BTS? And you're like, yeah. I'm like, are you a fan? Yes. Who's your bias? So and so. Oh my God. And I think that was just like, that opened Pandora's box. And that's when we started. We were already friends by that point, but that only just made it like, oh my God, this is a
dude.
I was
old. This was I was already talking to Joel, so I was like 21, 22.
Yeah, this is like,
and I would send him videos of me lip singing to like Sugar rapping. Literally. And then I still have those videos where I'm just like lip singing. He's just like, okay, fire, whatever, you know? And I was just like, yeah, I'm so cool because I can do the thing or whatever. The other day, no, we went to the mall, right? And I'm not even consistent with the fan base anymore. You know, a couple years ago, I deleted my entire BTS playlist because I was like, señores, tonos de Dios. Deleted my playlist. But anyways, Jungkook came out with a song called Loving You.
Right, yeah.
And I know the song. And so I'm in the store and this guy's like, this is one of the BTS members, right? You know, and the girl's like, yeah, I think it's Jimin. And the whole time it's Jungkook. She's Jungkook. And he's like, yeah, I think it's Jimin. Or if not, it's probably like that other guy. Like, oh, they're like, is it J-Hope? And I'm like, oh my God, like it's Jungkook. And dude, I was this close. This was last week. I was this close to going up there and like, it's actually Jungkook.
Jungkook, yeah.
You know, and so then as I'm making my way to the counter, he's like, "Oh, it's Jungkook. I just looked it up," and I was just kind of like,
Yes,
"Yeah,
yes,
yeah, that's
yes.
who did it." But that was a phase that I was just like, you know what? Y
Actually,
ahorita, like, con todo de Taylor Swift, I'm like, I get it, people, like, but Taylor Swift's fan base is insane. Like, to me, it's like, I don't know
yeah.
how, ahorita todo with this football
Is
player
it, yeah, I
she's
was just gonna
dating,
tell you.
it's in the news.
I know.
It's
Why would it make it to the news?
everywhere. I don't know.
Like, it's just. I think back when I was 16, it was understandable because I was 16. But now, if I were to be that hardcore fangirl, I don't think I have the energy, the time, I also am not a fan anymore of BTS. I used to be very like, oh my God, I need to watch every single thing and everything. But it's been a while. I think it's been a while since I've really liked their whole album. I think the last album I liked, it was really, really prior to them becoming a huge hit. And then that's about it. And then right now I would listen to some of their older albums and it just feels like it's been forever.
Did you ever watch, did you ever watch uh, idols reacting to my, like, whatever your K-pop band was? So for me, it was like other idols reacting to BTS performance. So it was like EXO reacting to
Right,
BTS
when
at a
someone else.
performance at some kind of award
Yeah.
show, and then you have some of these like other artists that they're just kind of, they react or they're like they smile or whatever. Binge watch every
No,
single
no.
performance.
You know what I became obsessed with a couple of years ago? When fans would make like stories about who's dating who. So I remember going
Oh.
to bed like at 3 a.m. in the morning watching videos of V dating another girl from another girl group that I really like. They're called Twice, and dating some her name is Chewy. So V and Chewy. And and these girls, dude, they compile videos of when they looked at each other, when they something fell and he picked it up, when
That's something.
when she went backstage and he followed like 3 seconds along with 20 other idols. Like, it's just but they make it so believable that you're like, oh my God, they are dating, I know they're dating, but then you would come into another video of like, no, Jungkook and Chewy are dating, and I'll have the
It's
evidence.
all about them.
Yeah, and I have the evidence, and they'll have interactions. And I'm like, oh my God, then who's dating who? And oh my God, I know that was bad because you go from I don't want them to date anybody to
I never went through that.
I actually did
never
again
did.
as a 17-year-old, 16-year-old. I feel or 18-year-old. I do feel like I went through that of like, no, they're gonna stay single for the rest of their
Forever.
lives.
Because I'm gonna marry them one day.
Exactly, because they need to wait for me. But I feel like with time, as I also wanted to start dating, I was like, no, they need to
They
date.
need a date. It's time.
It's time. It's especially if it's Chewy. For me, Chewy is beautiful. Their group is called Twice, and she's just gorgeous. I think she's gorgeous, and so when they pair them up with another beautiful person, it's like,
Yeah,
oh my God,
you're
yes,
just
I
like,
can
oh.
see it. I can see why. And so. But at that time, I think it was fun for me because it was like, oh my God, if they were to date, like I can see why this would make that what this would be so like nerve wracking. They're at a awards show and they can't really interact, but
They can't confess their true love.
yeah, but here they are spilling it through like small details, and I'm just
we
like,
know,
bro.
we know.
And we know, even though you're trying to hide it, we know. But
I feel like with this, we lost a lot of you because I definitely don't think that a lot of people would be able to relate to this.
yeah, no.
But if you do, if you ever fangirled, if you were, are part of the older generation, you're obsessed with, NSYNC and,
Ooh.
Backstreet Boys, or whatever you were into in your time right now, you're a Swiftie or whatever, you get us. But as we begin to wrap this up, honestly, this was our story time again. We hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you guys laughed with us.
Yes.
Because we like to laugh about our past and
But our
moments,
cringy selves.
our cringy selves. But other than that, we hope you guys join us on the next episode, and we will see you guys soon.
Bye.